Hello, folks. Welcome back to my channel, Finnyfella Trader. I just thought I would do a little update on the trades I've done today, how it started and how it ended, and take us through four of the trades I done today. And usually I don't like to. I try not to over trade, as I talk about. But when you're learning, I feel like you have to enter trades when you feel like that's the right time or the right moment, the right structure. So why not just enter, see how it goes, and learn from it. I mean, if you're wrong, you're wrong, and I'm happy enough to be wrong. But as long as I'm taking a lesson from it, so I just thought I would do as quick as I possibly can the four trades I done today. Bear in mind, I lost three in a row, um, which does hit you a slap in the ego. But I also learnt from them three in a row. So I'm going to take you right now. We are looking at the daily chart, but I'm going to take you down to the lower time frames, and we will put the chart on on the replay mode, and we'll just go over the trades and what I was thinking at the time, and where I was wrong, and why I was wrong. Because I can understand why I was wrong now that my day has ended. So Um, a loss is just a lesson, folks. I know I keep saying this, but it definitely is. You got to take them on the chin. You got to learn from them. And again, I'll just stamp down that all my entries and my technique is based on me trying to learn ICT strategy, his teachings. So, with that said, I'll make a start and we'll go down to the 15-minute time frame. Okay, I'll just put this on instant replay or in instant replay on replay mode. And as you can see here on the 15-minute chart, what I was thinking just before the London Open was just remove this and hide it. What I was thinking just before the London Open was here is the New York Midnight Open, and the market just traded basically above it from the get go. So I was thinking here we have buy side liquidity on the weekly high. We and over here wasn't really thinking about this at all. But I knew the buy side liquidity was here. I knew it was the previous week high, so it was in the back of my head. But I was more concerned about the lower time frame buy side liquidity and the sell side liquidity. So part of me was thinking the market opened up, with, let's say, manipulation, sucking buyer or buyers into the market. So I was straight away thinking, you know what, I'm going to be looking for sells today. More so because down here is this daily fair value gap that I spoke about. So I'll move down into the 5 minute, see if we can see there. Um, on the 5 minutes here, as you see, this was the New York Midnight Open. The market had rallied up. So straight away I was thinking, let's took out this buy side liquidity, this buy side liquidity, and this buy side liquidity running into the London Open or the London Kill Zone. I'll just switch down to the 1 minute. As you can see in the 1 minute here, if I just knock it forward a few candles, this was me thinking that I was going to look for structure to be broken here or structure to be broken up here. I was really looking for another wee run into liquidity in the back of my head. And I was thinking in the meantime, I'm going to assume, which I shouldn't have done, that because it's taking out this buy side liquidity over here, that's the run into liquidity. That's the manipulation, trying to suck in trying to suck in more buyers. So let's just move it forward now a couple of candles. So this candle here, I'll just zoom it in a bit. This candle here had me believing that we were going to go into a sell trade because it broke this structure here. Excuse me. Apologies, folks. Because it broke this structure here, I assumed this was a breaker. Made a low, broke this low, had a bit of a rally up, This was my rally into the buy side liquidity. This was me thinking to myself, this is the run of the liquidity. This whole move here, to me, was the manipulation. This was going to suck in buyers. And I know, yes, this is before the London Open, before the London Kill Zone. So I guess that's a mistake on my part. But what put the nail in the coffin for me to enter or sell was the break of this structure, and in the 1 minute it printed just here, you can see fair value gap on the 1 minute chart. So what I had planned was, if I just use a short position here, and I always go with 20 pips. Nearly almost I go with 20 pips. It's just something I like to go with. See the inputs. In my head, I believed once this hits this bottom of this fair value gap, I was going to enter. And because it was 20 pips above this, I was feeling pretty confident. But where was I going to aim for? My aim, honestly, was going to be for the New York midnight opening. And that would have been a, say, 1 to 3 trade almost. So I was also looking, this was going to be my first take profit. Partials here, these lows, because of sell side liquidity. Sell side liquidity. I don't know why that's not working. Oh, it is now. Sell side liquidity. So these lows here, excuse me. Apologies about that. So this sell side liquidity, these equal lows had me believing that should we come back up in this fair value gap, I will take partials here. But as you see, this was my first losing trade of the day. So I actually entered on that candle, the return of that candle. And I was feeling pretty confident at the time because of believing this was the run into liquidity when it wasn't. And here's the bigger picture of things, is what I didn't take into consideration today was the PPI economic news. I made the stupid mistake of not even looking at the economical calendar. I just completely lost, completely sorry, went out of my head. I just didn't even think of it. So if I had a thought of it, I would have said to myself, which it came out at 1:30 my time, which I believe is 5 hours, which is 8:30 New York time. So I didn't even think of it. What I like to have done was waited to after the news to look for an entry. But here we are anyway. So at this moment in time, I was feeling pretty confident. When that first candle shot up here, that's when I started to get nervous. It's, I do see this other fair value gap in here, but I don't like it to go that far. As soon as I enter a trade, I like to see it move in the direction I want it to move. And when it doesn't, every part of me is screaming to close it. But at the same time, I don't want to be afraid of losing. So I thought to myself, no, if you're wrong, this will be a lesson, which you'll see now. It clearly was. This is where I get tapped out. And if I just go to settings and market executions, mustn't be actually not showing up. No, this mustn't show up on the replay. I'll show you after anyway. Once the replay is over, I will show where I went wrong. So that was the first trade of the day. That was me starting the London session with a loss. And I'm not afraid to say, I'm not really great at the London Open. It's the one I think I lose on the most. So the New York morning is more the session I seem to, at the minute, seem to get right more often. So I'll just play. I'll play on, and I'll show you where I entered my next trade. So once that took out this buy side liquidity, and it took me out, I was kind of frustrated. I was thinking to myself, the next area I'm interested in is this buy side liquidity. So this is the previous week's high. So just put it on the 15 minute. This is the previous week's high. Buy side liquidity. This is where I thought this is where I'm going to look for next before I look for another entry, another sell. Because again, we're starting to move away from the New York midnight, and that to me acts like a magnet. I believe from ICT's, from what I understand of ICT's lectures. I don't want to I don't want to say from ICT's lectures, because I'm not 100% sure if I'm picking up exactly what he's setting down, if you know what I mean. So, from my understanding of his lectures, I always thought that the market likes to come back to the New York midnight and take it out. And again, let's not forget this fair value gap on the daily. So, I'll just go back to 1 minute and we'll remove this here. And we'll just keep playing to where I thought, yes, now I'm interested in entering the market again. I was getting very close to me thinking this is where the market's going to come down again, and it was here. Like on this break of structure here, I'll just mark it out again. Clone. On this break of structure here, roughly, this is where I thought to myself, once again, I did have it right. This is what I was thinking to myself. The market just hasn't shifted down straight away. It's took out this buy side liquidity. I'm not going to wait for this buy side liquidity here. That was my impatientness, I guess, catching up with me again. So as soon as this broke this low here, I immediately looked. Excuse me, can't get rid of this cough. So apologies if I'm annoying people with my grunting. So this fair value gap here is what interested me on this break of structures, what interested me to come back into the markets. And again, I'll just clone this to make it easy. I thought to myself, I'm going to enter here again with my 20 pip stop loss, again aiming for the New York midnight open. So once the market did that on this candle, again I was thinking, I'm feeling confident. It's broke this structure. It's took out the run on buy side liquidity's happened. It's took out these highs as well again, and starting to see a breakdown of structure. But again, I did not remember about the economic calendar or the news. And from my understanding of ACT's training again is the markets are manipulated. They are not random. They're not random. They will literally move to areas of interest, to fair value gaps, to order blocks on that news, and then it will reverse mostly and go the other direction, or keep continuing on. But the point is, one of the main things is timing and price, in coalition with economic calendar, red news, obviously. The rest I'm not really interested in. There's only certain things I will look at. But today I missed that PPI, and that was stupid on my behalf. So again, I've got to own up to it. I'm going to put it out there. People can laugh all they want. I don't really care. It's just I'm just trying to share this journey of, you're not just struggling by yourself. You're not a stupid trader. It's basically how we all start out, and without taking ourselves into accountability, then we cannot improve. And with having fear of losing and hiding that loss, you're not learning anything. You're just lying to yourself. You're kidding yourself. You're not being honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself in this game, as far as I'm concerned. So I'll just play this on. I'll let it continue. And again, as I marked out previously, these lows over here, these low sell side liquidity, equal lows, was my first take profit. And then I was going to close the trade here. So I'll just play this on a little bit. So whenever that market broke on this candle, I get cocky. I was like, yes, I've got this one right. My entry's right. How is this so easy? How does nobody get this? And of course, the market loves to teach you a lesson. It's like, too early, son. You forgot about the news. And so, yes, I possibly could have took partials here when it took out these equal lows and here, and I don't think it just came quite down to here, which it didn't. Now, if it did break that low, I probably would have felt a wee bit better. But the one thing I did miss was, again, there is a fair value gap. That is a fair value gap. The market has reacted and moved up from that fair value gap and come back down into it, and then reacted again. So I'll just stretch this on out. I don't usually have these in my chart, these shorts. I usually just rely on trading views, stop loss lines and stuff. So I'll just continue. Boom. Tagged out again. I was like, oh my god, not again. That's 2 losses today, and I haven't even got through the London morning session. So again, I thought this time I'm definitely with to this buy side liquidity. Last week's high, previous week's high, buy side liquidity sitting here. That's where it's going to reverse, Finny. That's where you're going to get into the market. How did you not see that before? I've always told myself. But we'll just forward it on a bit. And right about, I'll just get the, which one is it now? Bear with me a second till I find it, if I can find it. Where is 7? This. Okay. This here is the the New York kill zone opening time. So I like to look at it from 8 o'clock to 9. So once this took out last week's previous high, again, that's when I started to think of shorts. It's just this base, or sorry, this daily fair value gap below, just screaming to me that it needs to be filled. I'm not saying it will be, but it just feels like a magnet, and I feel like it has to come back down in there. And this is Tuesday, so I always like to think, you'll get the Tuesday, the high of the week. It'll either make the high or the low of the week, Tuesday or Wednesday, sometimes Thursday. But Tuesday the day is the day I look out for the most to make the high of the week. So I'll just forward this on to the moment when I thought I'll actually do it the 15 minute, because I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I did not look to enter until it got very close to the New York kill zone. So here, once it broke, I'll just go back to the daily. You'll see what I mean. This is roughly 80 days ago, the high, the buy side liquidity. So there was liquidity sitting here on an 80-day high. And I thought to myself, yes, once that goes into this, takes out this, then I'll look for reversals again. But again, a bit too early. Again, I did not wait till the news release, because I didn't think about it. Just made the dumbass mistake, excuse my language, of assuming I knew it all and this was going to go this way, no problem at all. That, not that candle, I don't believe. I was looking for this to be taken out. So it was. Actually, this is possibly the candle. Please excuse me. I'll know whenever I put the executions back on, but I'm just trying to do it how I was thinking at the time. So I do believe that this low here, this break of structure here, I know this isn't quite level. This break of structure here by this breaker candle is what made me think now we're going to see a turn. And if you just take another closer look here, you can also see the fair value gap on the 1 minute time frame. So if my mind reminds me right, I entered on this candle 20 pips, 20 pips, stop loss, and I thought, great, I'm going back down to this New York midnight open, but these equal lows now. This was going to be my first take profit. This is where I was going to look to take partials. And again, as you'll see in a minute, I'll actually mark the half 8 news just so you see. I think it was 8:29 or 8:30. This line represents the PPI news release. So I'll just forward this on. Feeling good. Thought, yes, here we go. Now it's starting to fly away. We should see these, at least get these partials, and I'll move stop loss to entry. And boom. Right on the half 8 news release, the market just exploded up. Went straight through my stop loss with just seconds. And used this for a value gap here. This was the manipulation. Accumulation. I'll just box it out. accumulation, manipulation, distribution. But again, that's whenever that exploded like that, then the penny dropped for me. Then I said to myself, there's so I bet you there's a news release. And that's exactly what there was. So when that happened, I thought to myself, you're an absolute idiot. You're an idiot for not even checking that today. How could that's something you should check first thing every day? But of course, I'm human and I forgot. So this was my big mistake. So whenever this happened, I went out to 4 hour time frame and I looked for a fair value gap, as I'll show you here, just to make sure it's the right one. Where are you? Is that one? No. Actually, it might be in the daily, you know. Okay, try this again. Okay, there you see the daily fair value gap. Apologies. It flew through this 80-day buy side liquidity and straight up into the daily fair value gap. As you can see, this is an order block. You see, like previously when the market returned here, it just flew. It just absolutely melted. Melted. Melted how many pips? Like there you are, over 1,600 pips melted in a matter of weeks. So go back to 1 minute. Once I seen that had entered that daily fair value gap, I decided I wasn't going to give up on the sales because it's just come right to the top of that fair value gap, almost closed it out, right to the pip almost. And that's when I decided that, yeah, so sorry, I just got a wee bit distracted. My son came in. I had to pause this video. But once that run up into this daily fair value gap, as we see marked here, and I was still in the New York kill zone, that's when I thought, now we are going to see sells because here's the New York midnight. We have been pushing away from it this whole time. Buy market all day. So I decided I was going to go the back to the daily. And for anyone that studied ICT stuff will know the equilibrium. So I wanted to find the equilibrium of that range. I'm just going to find, there it is. So the equilibrium, for anybody that doesn't know, is 50% of the what I would classify the daily range. And this was the equilibrium. So for me, I lined up the equilibrium with these equal lows, almost equal lows. And I said, if there is a break of structure here, if there is something that tells me we're going to see a bearish movement now, then I will be looking to sell again. Now remember, I have lost 3 in a row. And usually I do not like to overtrade. I do not like to chase losses. It's something you should never do. But again, I'm learning, so I have to be prepared to throw fear out the window. Forget about having a big list of red numbers beside your thing, because unless you give it a go, you're not going to learn exactly what it is you need to know. Do you know what I mean? You can't do it sitting on the sidelines. You can be a spectator all you want. You can sit there and clap your hands and cheer from the sidelines, but you're not going to make it unless you're actually playing the game. So yeah, this is what made me think. Then we're going to see if I see a bearish movement coming in here, then I will look to enter. And here's the equilibrium, and below that is the New York midnight opening. And here, I do realise here's a big fair value gap and a strong bullish candlestick, but that was on news. And again, I just feel it's took out the buy side liquidity here, buy side liquidity on the 80-day, which is this mark here, and I'm going to look for a sell again. I definitely wasn't going to look for a buy because I just felt I just wouldn't see it today. So here we have the market pushing down aggressively away from where it was. I did see this fair value gap here, but I just thought it was a bit too early until I seen this here movement. Until I seen this, that's when I thought, you know what, now I'm going to use this fair value gap here as a way down to this trade for a sell. So, excuse me, I'm so sorry about this coughing. The market started to move away. I've seen this fair value gap here, but when I went out to the 15 minutes, you know, there just didn't seem to be anything to worry about until I get down to here. Even the 5, it just felt this is where the market is going to come. It's going to close this up, and it's going to go to this equilibrium and maybe even the New York midnight open. So we will keep pushing play. Started to move away again. Another nice move, and I just thought, at this point you're always thinking, I'm going to miss this move. You're tempted. You just want to jump in here now. You just want to jump into the market and go with a massive stop loss, and there's nothing wrong with that either. It's if that's where you like to enter in this fair value gap here, it's completely understandable. But I like to think I'm getting more patient, and I know the market's going to come back. It's like sometimes it will just run like mad, and that's the end of it. You're never going to catch it, but the market usually comes back into the area. Now here's where I got a wee bit nervous. It was 9 o'clock, kind of outside the kill zone. I like to kind of take it to 10 o'clock to give myself more time to see where I want to get in, but a minute here or there, I'm not too concerned. So I do believe it was this candle here. I'll just go back to here. Short. Let me see it, a hidden short position. Yes, okay. So I entered the trade on this pip when it came on this candlestick story once it came into this fair value gap. And I wanted to see a good quick movement away from that, which it did. It came away pretty aggressively, but then it started to, hang about for a wee bit, and I said, oh no, here we go. But then once it started breaking structure, once this high didn't get broke on the next, lower high, I just thought to myself, now we're going to start shifting in the right direction. But again, the market's designed to make you feel nervous. It's designed to make you think that, you know, I could easily go to myself, right, I'm going to move my stop loss down to break even here now. But I didn't. I just held on to the belief that it's going to come for this equilibrium, and these equal lows. So I just left. I left my take profit, just a wee bit short of it by a couple of pips. It's a nearly a 1 to 5 trade, as you say, or 5 to 1 trade, should I say? but I wasn't going to take partials here. I just thought there's no really stands out for me to take partials. I could have seen this and says, I'll take partials here, but I just felt that from that daily fair value gap and the market's rushed up until it, you're sucking in more buyers and more buyers. I just thought I'm just going to take either the loss or I'm going to take the nearly 5-1 trade. So as you can see here, the market played out a bit. It came and touched this, if you remember right, that 80-day high we spoke about, and it reacted off it. And, it reacted off what I would classify here as, I'm just going to remove this a second, this candle here, this bearish order block. If you can see, it's lined up to that line to the pip. And once it reacted off that, I was so tempted to close it. So tempted to close it. But thought, no, I have to stick with, what the market's telling me. Like, the market just can't keep going up. But I was like, and there's equal lows here and the equilibriums here and the daily fair value gaps down below here. Stick with it till the end. Don't take parcels. If you're wrong, you're wrong. There's not a lesson to be learnt. So the market did start going up again. But if you can see here, it run into a fair value gap here. Sorry, that's kind of hard to see. I'll maybe change it to purple, which hasn't really helped actually. So I'll just, for talk's sake, I'll change the color to a dark green. You can see a wee bit better. So you can see the market running this fair value cap here, and it reacted nicely again. And I really wanted to see this low broken, which it just broke it by a pip and the more. And again, I reacted off this 80-day high, this buy side liquidity. So I just thought, here we go. Are we going to see a complete retracement? And then just I sort of calm myself down. It's like, no, Finny, you've got to remember these equal lows here. You've got to remember this is the equilibrium, and the market will chase better price. So I held on and I held on, and eventually it boom, it came through. I got my stop loss. I'm sorry, my take profit hit. It came to the equilibrium. Yes, I could have took partials. I could have probably read it on down to here. I don't know where the market is right now, so I'll just take it off the instant replay, or the replay, sorry. And as you can see, it's fluctuating a wee bit here. But excuse me, sorry. It still hasn't taken out these lows, Still hasn't taken them out. I still believe it's going to come down here and possibly take out the New York midnight, but it hasn't yet. Maybe will. I'm still believing that we're going to see a retracement down in this fair value gap here. That's really what I probably will be looking, because this could be the week's high now. This could be the Tuesday high of the week. But all that said and done, I'm not interested now in trading in the New York PM session. I'm not going to trade for the rest of the day. I'm just going to show you all settings and market executions, so you can see that I done these live. You can see where I made the mess up. Sorry, apologies that I don't have my short position on here. As you remember, I deleted it, but yeah. So you can see where I entered and I got taken out, and I entered again, got taken out, and entered here. And the break of this PPI news took me out, and I entered here. And like the drawdown I had with that entry, that's kind of the precision that, if you can get it right, ICT's precision is ridiculous. So like the drawdown we had here was, between 5-6 pips. which really and truly isn't bad at all. So I hope that helps people. I hope it shows you that you just can't give up. Actually, I showed my paper trading here just so you know how I'm actually doing. As you can see, I lost yesterday. I took parcels in trade last night. I closed it just before I went to bed. Um, because I don't like holding things overnight. And then I took them three losses in a row. Now that's disheartening, but at the same time, you just can't let it get to you. You have to keep going. You have to keep testing your strategy. You have to keep believing in your strategy. Do you know what I mean? You can't just be like, "Oh, this doesn't work." You can't just give up. You can't just quit. You have to realize that you know this is going to be tough. This is going to take some shitty days, a lot of shitty days. I went through a lot of shitty days to kind of get used to losing and knowing that finding confidence in this way of trading, ICT's way of trading. So if you've had a rough day, three in a row, like my biggest losing streak was 12 in a row. Like there you are, 12 in a row. Like that's pathetic. So it is. Like I just had my head in my hands all the time. Like, how am I going to get this? But as I mentioned in previous videos, I'm relentless. I'm a relentless SOB. I will not give up. I have ambitions and dreams for my heart's in the right place for it, and that's how I know I'm going to make it. And I hope you're feeling that way too. If you're in this just for money, you want to drive a Lambo or something along them lines, and there's no harm in that either. But to actually stick at this, to actually um, find something that's going to make you refuse to quit, it's going to take more than a cure. And I'm a massive cure fan, mostly old Japanese, but um, you have to find that something. And mine is my family, my wife, my son, my brother, my sisters, my mum, my dad. I just want to generally help people, so that's why I stick at it every day. It's all to think about. And if I'm not trading and watching educational videos or listen to podcasts uh, day and night, it's an obsession to me. People say, "Oh, you can spend too long in the charts," blah blah blah. But I was like, you know, people that say that have not been stood in a trench, building blocks, footings for houses in the pissing rain in Ireland, not freezing, or sitting in the scorching heat in Australia outback, working 12 hours a day for 28 days straight, and back home for 5 days, and then flying back out to the mines again. This is easy. Mentally not easy. Physically, a piece of piss. So I don't care what people say. I don't care if they turn around and say, "Oh, you can't spend. You spend too long in the church. It's not good for you." I love this. I love this. Like I would rather flick the TV on and watch the charts move than I would sit and watch some Netflix series. Doesn't interest me at all. This is what interests me. This is what I absolutely love. This, like, I've lost three in a row. I could turn the computer off, walk away, and mope about it, or I could stick with it and come back when an almost 5-1 trade and have my account up. And it gives me a wee bit of breathing room, you know. So I guess just made this video again just to show you that it's not you. Sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes the market's not going to go the direction you want. Sometimes you're just being impatient. It's a puzzle. It's a jigsaw that you have to figure out, and it's like putting a jigsaw together in the dark. We can take all the information we want from the best traders in the world, but unless we implement it and find our own way and our own intuition on these markets, and put the time and put the effort in, it's not going to come for free. It's not. You can't just do an hour or two a day and think, oh yeah, that's me. You know, I'll get this. I don't. I can't be bothered with that shit. I'd rather work like a dog at this here and be successful at it. And whenever I'm in the stage where I'm going to say financially free, I'm going to work even harder. I'm going to reach another goal. And I hope that's your attitude too. So thank you for listening again. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to leave a comment. Anything you'd like to see, anything you'd like to ask. If I know it, I will help you. If I don't, I'll point you in the direction, you know, to the information you need. So thanks again. Thank you for listening in. And guys, happy trading. Stick at it. Don't care how hard this day was for you or any other day. If you love this and this is something you want to do, please stick at it. Do not give up. Because that moment you're laying in bed in your deathbed, and I know it's said time and time again, don't live with regrets. Do not live with regrets. We can't do that. Cannot live with regrets. You've got to do this. You've got to, on your deathbed at 80, 90, 100 years of age, and say to yourself, I've done it. My family's safe. They're for generations to come. When I master this, I hope my son is interested in it, and I'll show him. I'll pass it down to him and as many people as I possibly can. Because that was my deal with God as well. I said, God, show me what I need to see, and I will help as many people as I possibly can. I'll spend the rest of my life doing it. And that's what makes me happy. So I'll sign off. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody. And happy trading this week. Stay patient.